Stop it. You are not a computer. I'm not a computer. Number 3, oh, it's the worst one. This is sheet music. Putting notes on paper is literally black and white, but turning notes into music, that is nothing but gray area. Hi, if you don't know me, I am Matt Hodge, and I have spent the last 15 years of my life being a university music professor and also a professional piano player and composer. And in all of the years I have spent working with aspiring piano players, I constantly see the same mistakes over and over. And these mistakes are stunting their growth. It's literally killing their growth as a piano player. But that is not going to happen to you today because you are watching this video. And in this video, I'm going to break down my top 3 worst mistakes that I keep seeing piano players make that are killing their growth. And spoiler alert, number 3, oh, it's the worst one. So let's dive into it. Number 1, trying to be a computer. Stop it. You are not a computer. I'm not a computer. You're a human, I'm a human. Got it? Great, bye. No, I'm kidding. But stop being a computer. What I mean by that is computers try to be perfect. We program computers to do things perfectly. But music should be human expression. Taking notes and making them jump off of a page is not magic, and it shouldn't be an algorithm. Perfection is the antithesis of creation, of experimentation, of expression. I don't want my piano students to play something perfect. I want them to make music. Now, what do I mean by this? I'm going to show you an example. So I'm going to pull up here sheet music on a screen, and I have it up here on my little corner screen too. So this is music notes that I just jotted down in sheet music right before I pushed record. So this is some very simple arrangement of a traditional song called Auld Lang Syne. This is very popular. I'm sure you'll recognize it. It's really popular during New Year's Eve. This is what everyone sings in New York City in Times Square when the ball drops. It's a lovely old folk song. Now, I'm going to first play it the way my computer would. I'm going to play the rhythm and the melodies and everything as quote-unquote perfect as possible, what the sheet music says. Okay? And I'm going to bring the sheet music up on the screen here, and you follow along as I play and watch my hands. That is how my computer would play it. My computer can go do 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 do. Great. But that's not what I want. I want music. Because when a human sits to play music, it shouldn't be the exact same thing every time. Because we have to think about context. We have to think about the moment. What do we want to emphasize? What emotion are we trying to feel? What is the purpose of the way we're interpreting the song right in this moment? And a piano is so expressive. Why would you not want to lean into that? So I'm going to play you a couple of examples of this. Pretend like I'm meant to play this for a big group number. It's meant to be a fun, energetic sing-along. Well, that's going to be a different type of way to interpret the notes. So I'm going to play it that way, but I'm not going to change anything. I'm not going to add stuff. I'm going to play what the sheet music says, but I'm going to give it a human interpretation. So here we go. Right? If I want to try to make it big, or the opposite. What if I need this to be very intimate? What if I want this to be peaceful? What if I want this to be tranquil? What if I want it to be a little melancholy? Maybe New Year's isn't always happy for everybody. I can take these exact same notes and infuse a story in it, infuse emotion into it. right? I didn't change anything about the sheet music, but I changed everything about it by trying to be a human being playing it. So don't try to be a computer. Number 2, micro-perfection. All right, this is a simple one, but it's a big one. I often see piano students when they get really, really focused on trying to learn a specific measure. If there is a part of a sheet music that you're trying to learn that's really hard, we can get so zoned in on it, trying to perfect it. We just keep looping it over and over and over and over. How in the world do I play this rhythm, these notes, these chords? And yes, you have to practice it, but you've got to make sure eventually you got to get a bigger perspective, because the only way to really make it work is to not just be zoned in on a small thing you're trying to be perfect at. You have to see it as a piece of a puzzle that is part of something bigger than itself. And that's what we call phrasing. So for example, I'm going to bring back Auld Lang Syne. Let's pretend like this sheet music isn't simple for you. Let's pretend that towards the bottom, look, where now we have 2 notes in each hand. Let's pretend that that's not easy for you and you have to work at that. I don't want you to just over and over and over try to see each of those spots as its own individual thing, right? Right? Stop it. Don't try to be perfect in something small, because it will be so much better for you if you learn it in the bigger context. It's like me trying to give you random puzzle pieces, but you're not putting a puzzle together, right? So, for example, in these, each chord leads to the next one. There's a movement to it, right? The first chord leads to the second chord, right? It beautifully leads to it. The second chord leads to the third chord. It has a natural movement to it. The third chord leads to the fourth chord, right? So I don't want you to have to really try to learn 4 complicated chords that are individual. Right? Practice them and learn them as one cohesive phrase, one movement. It's one idea. They're connected. Notes are a family. Notes are a family that are connected. Okay? So stop trying to perfect one small micro part of sheet music. And number 3, our last one for this video, the worst one. Here's what it is. Don't confuse the start for the end. Now, what in the world do I mean by that? We have this really bad stereotype in piano world that our job is done when we've learned the sheet music. That couldn't be further from the truth. Learning the sheet music, yes, you should want to learn the notes and the rhythm. That is part of the job. But that is not the end goal. That is the beginning. That is the starting point. And so many times I see piano players, they celebrate too hard when they've learned the sheet music and they think their job is done. Not only is your job not done, but now you're just getting to the good part, the fun part. Imagine if you know anyone. Do you have a family or a family member or friend who loves cooking? I doubt if they love cooking, they would just throw ingredients on the counter and say, look at this beautiful dish I just cooked. No, you just have ingredients out. And if they love to cook, they will enjoy taking those ingredients and mixing them together and creating something that will be delicious. That's what music should be. Learning the sheet music, learning the notes on the page is just the starting point. That is not you've arrived at the destination. That is you just got in the car and turned it on and filled up the gas. This is the fun part, and that's the part that I want students to be excited about. Learning the sheet music is a hump you have to get over. It's the obstacle. But then you now start. It's not the end. So I don't want you to be thrilled when you learn sheet music and you think, whew, I've reached the mountaintop. No, you've just started climbing. But that's not a bad thing. That's a beautiful thing, because only then, once you know this stuff, can you break it apart and mix it. Only once you know what the ingredients are can you then cook something delicious. Can you make music? And it goes back to the first thing I talked about, trying to be a computer, right? Don't be a computer, because if you just focus on the sheet music, we would get stuff like, right? Which is fine. It's fine. But could it be more delicious? Yes. And that should be the fun part. I want you to be excited to turn that into right? That's the gray area. That's where music is made. So you are not going to be a computer. You are not going to try to zone in on micro perfection, and you're not going to confuse the start for the end. You're going to be an imperfect human that creates music and loves it. And that's what I want. That's the world of piano players that I want. Live in the messy gray area. So thank you so much. And if you enjoyed this, I'm going to put a video right here on the screen. And this video is where I break down a magic note that I literally add in almost every single chord I play every day of my life as a professional piano player. So check it out, and I'll see you there.